The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read. Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
Games, man? Hey, I'm fucking somebody else. Hey!
That is a funny gift that I love to see, people. Every time I see somebody play that gift, it makes me laugh. Of course, that's Eddie Murphy up under that mask of Donald Trump, but it's just so funny. And I just feel so good today. You know, Joe Biden won. Him and Kamala Harris, she broke one of the glass ceilings, and she's going to become the first. Actually, she broke two. She's going to become the first woman vice president and the first woman of color vice president. I'm not going to get all into the weeds of whether she's a natural black woman and all of that. She's not white. Plain and simple. So she broke that barrier, and it should be a proud day for Americans. On that note, I would like to say this. Today's show is specifically going to be lighthearted, but at the same time a little serious, because there's a message I need to get across to black Americans and white Americans in this country. Because even though the right side of history paid off this time, this is too close. There are too many people that voted for his brand of bigotry. Too many people. Almost half this country. And to put that in terms that you can understand, every time you step out your door, the second or third person you see, whether you're going into a store, a restaurant, the mall, every second or third person you see are either greedy or have bigotry in their heart, and they let it be exposed when Donald Trump got in office. That should be troubling and concerning to each and every one of you. I've actually pulled out my blue shirt in support of Biden and Harris. You know, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, I'm an independent. But I always try to go on the side of right. And that's how you keep your moral standards in life. But before we get too further into today's show of what we need to learn from this election, I want to do my liquor tasting. Because like I told my Facebook followers, family and friends on Facebook, we're going to hashtag Wild Turkey Honey. Wild Turkey Honey, people. This is the official Trump drink. So when you go in the liquor store from now on and you want that Trump, you go. I couldn't find Jive Turkey, people, but Wild Turkey is more fitting for our 45th president. You know, we finna move on to 46, but the Wild Turkey with honey give it that glaze, that orange glaze that he has. You know, this is Wild Turkey Honey. We finna give it a taste test. See, I've drunk Wild Turkey, and I don't like it, but I'm finna try the honey. Give it a taste test. See how it tastes. We drinking Trump, people. We drinking Trump. Yeah. You see, I got this from these new age rappers. These new age rappers, they have a thing about their hip hop rivals when they get murdered in the streets, and they didn't like them or something like that. They say they smoking like the recent young man that just got killed, King Von or Tuka or one of them guys. They name a weed after them. They smoking King Von. It's basically a disrespect. Basically, you smoking the ashes of somebody's partner. You know, so we're gonna drink to the ashes of Donald Trump and piss him out later. Oh, Wild turkey honey is not that bad. Now, wild turkey is garbage. I give wild turkey about a 7. But the honey, I give this about an 8.5. Wild turkey honey is pretty good. No chaser. You don't need no chaser. Wild turkey honey, people. It's very good. Matter of fact, it has a picture of Donald Trump on the back. It has a picture of Donald Trump on the back, people. Wild turkey honey. Okay, let's get into the show. Today's show is the lessons that white and black America. I'm not talking about the rest of the races, because the rest of the races are in this country trying to make good on the American dream, and they're watching us. The main antagonists in this country are whites and blacks. I'm not saying the other races in this country don't count, because they do. They play a big part in this. Just like the Cubans and some of the Mexicans down in Texas, the Cubans in Florida and the Mexicans down in Texas played a big part in keeping Florida red for Trump and keeping Texas red for Trump. Now, put them to the side for a minute, because they have to get their own thing straightened out. Donald Trump don't like them. A lot of white people in America don't like them. So mentally, they need people in their community to step up and make sure the message is sent to their people that y'all voted for people who don't like you. They wish you wasn't here. Okay? All I can do is give you the message and back up. But as far as people of my color that are black Americans, there are vital lessons we need to learn from this election, and white people. Okay? First, I'm going to start with my people. We have these ideals in our heads that, a lot of the racism is over with. It's not. It's just been covered up through years of working next to a white person. And there are hundreds and thousands, millions of white people out here that are not with bigotry. I want to get that understood right now. There are a lot of whites out here who are not with bigotry. But there is enough of them out here, and they've learned how to convince the ones who are not with bigotry that they're on their side. And how they do it is the messaging. Okay? Democrats are bad at messaging. The Republicans got it down. The message is clear. The hatred that's in some of these people, they can't come out and say it. So they've had 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years of learning how to adapt and be racist without actually coming out and calling you the N-word. Okay? We got to get this understood. The whole socialism, they're going to take your guns. Nobody's going to take your guns. Not Democrats, not Republicans. Stop it. It's a lie. They're going to take your guns. They're going to raise your taxes. The only people that's going to taxes are going to get raised are wealthy people. Half of those people that scream they're going to raise your taxes, the tax raising is not even going to affect you because you don't make enough money. See, the messaging, people, is what's key to how these people are staying in power. The reason why Donald Trump didn't get elected is because he went off script. If you notice, Black America, if you notice, Donald Trump, out of all the Republicans, didn't get reelected because the rest of the Republicans stayed on script. They just as racist as he is. They stayed on script. They didn't come all out with it. These are the lessons that I've learned, and most of the minorities in this country need to learn from this election. Especially you minorities that's in law enforcement, talking about this damn blue lives. They don't like you. Whether you're a policeman or not, they don't like you. You get in Congress, the black senator down there in South Carolina. I can't stand him. He is with a party of people that don't like you. White people, I'm finna say something to you about what you should learn from this election. And I'm talking to the ones who voted for this garbage and lost. Bigotry will not stand in this country. George Wallace was the last great chance that you had to enact a continuation of bigotry. Donald Trump tried it. It's not going to work. He'll probably never be able to get back in office. He's in his 70s. And 4 more years from now, he'll be in his 80s. I don't think nobody's going to even vote for him, period. He doesn't stand a chance. But I will tell you this, white people. I just got through talking to my black people. White people, get it understood that there will be death in the streets if y'all keep pushing this racist agenda. Stop it. This country doesn't just belong to you alone. This is all of our country. Who cares if your forefathers came over here and took the country from the Indians? We worked the land as slaves. This country belongs to all of us. Some of y'all got to get that understood. I'm finna play another clip. We sending Donald Trump home. That right there, America, was whites and blacks in the streets. Whites and blacks in the streets celebrating, telling Donald Trump you're about to lose your job. They're not playing with this guy. They're not playing with bigotry and racism. And there are a lot of people out there, almost half the country. Now, I will tell y'all this. Okay, I'm talking to all Americans now, not just white or black, all Americans. What's going to happen is, if something did pop off in this country, you got the crowd of people that you just saw who are not with racism, who are going to rise up. There's only half of the racists on Donald Trump's side who are going to rise up. You know why? Because a lot of those people that voted for Donald Trump, it was almost half the country. A lot of those people are just greedy. They're not necessarily racist. I'm going to let that sink in y'all soul for a second. Half the country voted for Trump, half the country voted for Biden. Now, half of Trump supporters are just greedy. They thought Trump was going to put more money in their pocket than Biden, which is a lie. So if neo-Nazis and white nationalists jump out here and try something crazy thinking that they're going to rely on multi-millionaires and billionaires to get out in the streets and fight with them. It's not going to happen. The only reason they even voted with you, white supremacists, I'm talking to you, white supremacists, because I know some of y'all watch my show. The only reason some of these people voted for Donald Trump is not because they hate minorities. It's because they're greedy. They thought Donald Trump, regardless of his racism, was going to put more money in their pocket, which was a lie. But in some of y'all mind, y'all thinking that y'all done built up this army when it's a fake army. Because these cushy multimillionaires sitting behind their mansions that voted for Donald Trump, these upper class and wealthy people that voted for Donald Trump alongside of you white supremacists, they're not going to take up arms, period. Some of them might even turn against you because they're going to say, hey man, hold up. I didn't sign up for this. I signed up for wealth. That's why I know that there's not going to be a civil war in this country. Because just like I calculated all of that, the white supremacist leaders have calculated all of that too. Donald Trump is just going to have to leave office because the Republicans, regardless of how strong they think they are, regardless of how half the country they think they have, the Republican Party is going to remove Donald Trump out of office before war breaks out. It's not going to happen. They're not strong enough. They don't have enough people that's going to rise up and ride with them. Because these wealthy people that's used to living behind gated communities, and that's the real reason they voted for Donald Trump, they're not going to get out here and go to guerrilla warfare in the streets. They're going to hide out and let everything blow over. Once you call them up and say, I thought you was a Trump supporter, it was like, well, you know, hey, he lost. I got my money. That's what they're going to say. They got their money. They got their tax cuts. I'm going to give you an example of what I mean. I want y'all to listen to Alex Jones. He's a conspiracy theorist that has a talk show like I got. This is a dangerous man. I don't like Alex Jones. I think he's a danger to American society.
Including well-known conspiracy theorist Alex Jones. And one of the things he said during his roughly 30-minute address to this crowd of supporters was, our one message to President Trump is don't concede.
We are stronger than ever.
Yeah!
We love you, brother.
Alex, can I shake your hand? God bless you, man. Keep up the fight.
1776 is alive and well.
Yeah!
Now, a lot of y'all didn't understand what that meant when he said 1776. Let me explain it to you, black people. I'm talking to my minorities out here now. Because like I said, I'm a minority. I can't do nothing about white people. I can't do nothing about Mexicans, Latinos that voted for Trump. I can't do nothing about that. But I can speak to my people. That's code word. 1776. That's a dog whistle. If you go back and look up the history of 1776, that's when America broke off from England. And when Alex Jones, screamed that over that bullhorn, he was basically telling all of his supporters that what Donald Trump needs to do is try to break off from America. 1776 style, which is what started the Revolutionary War. But like I said, anything I say on my show, you can look it up. I don't play no games about misinformation and falsehoods on my show. But 1776 was an important year for America because that was the year that we decided that England would no longer control our lives. And now you got these white supremacists and these people that don't like how America has become black and brown as well as white. They don't like that. So now they feel like they want to break off from the Union, 1776 style. It's not going to happen, and it's not going to work. I'm finna get into this first commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna play some more funny clips. Thank you.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Those were men and women celebrating out in the streets with a big Trump rat-faced doll. And all across this country, they celebrating. Not even just this country, people, but even in Europe and Paris and France. I mean, they're celebrating because we fought back racism one more time. We dealt racism and bigotry in this country another defeat, another L. This is 3 times, people. This is 3 times. And like I said on the first segment, I'm going to go more in detail about this, because a lot of people forget the history. I've heard blacks get on Facebook and tell other blacks, why are we voting for Democrats when Democrats were the ones who fought to keep us in slavery? Those people that say that, one or two things is happening. They don't know the history of JFK, or they know the history, but they're trying to use trickery to trick other blacks into not voting for Democrats. So let me give you a brief history of why blacks vote for Democrats. Back when JFK was in office, John F. Kennedy, for those you don't know, and Bobby Kennedy, which was his attorney general, when they were in office, John F. Kennedy knew, because he had black friends, he had people of color around him, he knew that blacks wasn't demons and less than human beings. John F. Kennedy opened the gates of the Democratic Party to black people, and we flooded in. All of the Dixie Democrats, the bigots who was in the South, ran from the Democratic Party, and then the Republicans found a new strategy, which was to use the hatred of these Dixie Democrats against the Democrats. So they invited the Democrats in, the Dixie Democrats in, to the Republican Party. Again, it was called the Southern Strategy. I think Ronald Reagan used the Southern Strategy. And to prove my point, all you got to do, if you live in the South, look around at all the Republicans in the South. Ask yourself, how is so many Republicans in the South when the South was the place that fought to keep slaves in slavery? They were Democrats. Think about that for a second. I'm going to let that sit on your soul for a second. Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Texas, Louisiana, Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, Kentucky. Think about all of those states I just named. Those are Republican strongholds. Why? The Republicans was the party of Lincoln. in the North. So how all of a sudden you got Republicans all in the South? I just told you why. All you have to do is pick up a book and look it up. The Republicans saw how all of the blacks left and went into the Democratic Party, and all of the bigot whites fled the Democratic Party and ran to the Republican Party. So when you see these so-called what about this, what about that, why are we doing this, why are we doing that, when you see these black folks or these white people get on the internet and they question your loyalty to the Democratic Party, or they question your loyalty of why you voting this way, now you got an answer for them. You tell them, hey, I already know the history on the Democrats and the Republicans. Yes, the Democrats were the party of the Civil War, of the Confederacy. That's true. Everything you said about that is true. But that Democratic Party is not the Democrat Party of today. We've taken that Democratic Party over. So when you see these buffoons get on here thinking that you don't know nothing about the history of this stuff, let them know. And let them know you heard it from this show. That's all you got to do. Let them tune in. I'm gonna feed them. I'm gonna feed you some knowledge. Let them tune in. I'm gonna give them what they want. The Republican Party of today is basically the Dixie Democrats of yesterday. Y'all got to get that understood. I'm gonna play some funny clips because I'm gonna try to lighten it. I'm gonna try to lighten it up a little bit and play some funny clips of kids who are asked questions about what they know about Donald Trump. This is some good stuff, people. Sometimes you got to have a little fun. You know, some people say I'm not fun enough, but I'm going to try to have a little fun on today's show. Listen to this, people.
Donald Trump has done a good job in his first year as president?
No.
Why not?
Because he wants to put a wall over Mexico, and I love going to Mexico.
What's the first thing you think of when I say Donald Trump?
Small fingers and orange face.
What's the worst thing he's done?
I think he needs to stop threatening North Korea.
Why?
Because I don't want to get nuked.
What's the first thing you think of when you hear Donald Trump?
Pictures.
Pictures of what?
A princess is...
Princesses? Do you think he's smart?
No.
Why not?
He treats people badly, and that's why I don't think he's smart.
What's one nice thing you can say about Donald Trump?
He has kind of cool hair, I think.
He has cool hair? Whose hair is cooler?
Mine.
Donald Trump has a lot of nicknames for people like Crooked Hillary, Rocket Man. Do you have a nickname for him?
Poop face. Mr. Tiny Hands.
Cheeto.
Can you do an impression of him?
It's gonna be great.
We are going to build a wall, and it will be huge.
I will build a wall. A big one.
China, China, China. Here's the paper dollars.
Can you do an impression of the president for us?
You're fired.
hey people, I'm telling you, man. And the thing about these kids is people don't think that kids see what adults are doing. We look a blind eye to kids like they don't know nothing, to see nothing, or don't know nothing about nothing. They see everything. These are our future voters. And I guarantee you, these kids have learned that Donald Trump is garbage. Matter of fact, I'm finna have another drink of Donald Trump. I'm finna drink some more Trump. Wild Turkey Honey. Hashtag Wild Turkey Honey. I'm gonna flash it. I'm gonna flash it on the bottom of the screen. Hashtag Wild Turkey Honey. Ooh, this is official. The drink of Donald Trump. Wild Turkey. And Like I said, I wanted to keep it light today because today is a good day. It's a good day for America, for equality, and a pushback against this bigotry, this brand of bigotry that Donald Trump has brought out to America. And I gotta say something to the Latinos. Gotta say something to you. Donald Trump doesn't like you. Number one. At all. He doesn't care for you too much. Whether you're a Mexican Latino, a Mexican American Latino, a Cuban Latino, a Puerto Rican Latino, he doesn't like you. And the brand of bigotry that he brought forth was really against you. I want y'all to understand that. He doesn't particularly too much care for black people neither. I really don't think that. But his brand of bigotry was really basically towards you. Some of y'all don't get that. We push back on that even when some of y'all didn't. All you got to do is look at those kids in cages. There's a lot of kids still in cages down there all across the border. Parents, they don't know where the parents at. To me, that's wrong. It's not morally right. And I think he should pay for that. I really in my heart truly feel like Donald Trump should pay for that. Not just the head of DHS, that woman that used to be over that Homeland Security and all of that. But I think Donald Trump needs to pay for that. Because it wasn't right. The entertainers, like I said, a lot of people who voted for Donald Trump, out of half of the country voted for him. The other half voted for Biden. But out of the half that actually voted for Donald Trump, half of that did it out of greed, not racism. I'm going to let that sink in for a minute for all you racists and bigots out there that watch my show to see what this new guy is talking about. Them people is not going to stand beside you. Greedy people are after themselves. And they're not going to take up guns and fight against the feds and the police to help you. They voted with you if you're a bigot. And to be honest with you, there's a whole nother conversation there who is worse. The outright bigot that'll come out and say they don't like you because of your skin color, or the person that rides with you because they feel like you're going to put more money in their pocket than the other guy. I don't know which one of y'all is worse. You know, they went and put Kanye West on the ballot box, which lets you know how little they think of us black people. And that also lets you know how highly Kanye West thinks of himself. If he thought in his mind that he can go into the White House and tell Donald Trump, man, put me on the ballot because I can pull a lot of votes from the black community because people like me. You got a rude awakening, Kanye West. Number one, people already know you about half crazy. Number two, we ain't putting up with your coonery at all. We're not dummies. And that lets you know how little they think of how we black people are. They think we're just uneducated fools. That we can't understand what's going on. We saw right through that when they started talking about Kanye West. We saw right through that. It's terrible. I'm gonna get into this next commercial break, and when we get back, I'm gonna end the show and talk about something that's very important.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Me and Bae gon' always be tight, though you not with me every single day and night. Even when they start to acting like a fool, yeah, they loving every single thing you do. You know that they can always be themselves. They love each other more than anybody else. And every day as you see them on YouTube, you know there's not one, it'll always be just two. Too stupid Emily, too stupid Emily, too stupid family. They'll make you scream. It makes me wanna sing. It's a family thing, the family. Too stupid family, stupid family. They'll push your buttons. It makes me wanna cry. It's a family thing, the family. Too stupid family.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. On today's show, we sipping on wild turkey honey. I've never drunken this before, so I decided to find a liquor that best describes Trump, and we're gonna hashtag wild turkey honey. This is Trump's official drink. The wild, he even got Trump on the back of the label. The wild turkey, jive turkey, wild turkey. You know, hashtag Trump. Cheers to you, brother, because you done. And as they said, we got something for trespassers in the White House. If you decide you don't want to leave, they got something for trespassers. They will remove you. They will remove you out of office. So we finna take a sip for Donald Trump. We'll piss him out later. But back to the show. As I wanted to say, there's something else very important that I want to talk about today, and that's these militia groups. America, listen to what I'm saying. Whether you're seeing me on YouTube, or you're seeing me on Anchor, or you're seeing me on iHeartRadio, or you're listening to me on iHeartRadio, listen to me very carefully. For all my truck drivers out there, some of y'all listen to my show. A lot of y'all support my show. I love it. I appreciate you. This is the quiet before the storm. Donald Trump has lost this election. No matter how many lawsuits he filed, it's over with. He needs to face it, and like the mayor of Philadelphia said, he need to put his big boy pants on and face it. He's a loser. He lost. It's over with. Now, things are about to get very dangerous. Do I think that there's going to be a civil war? No. Because, like I said, on our side, there's too many people that's willing to rise up and fight against whites and blacks that ride with them or with bigotry. We're going to rise up. That's number one. Number two, the reason why I know there's not going to be a civil war is because the white militias and all of these white supremacists that voted for Donald Trump, hoping that he was going to somehow bring a new era of white supremacy and apartheid in this country, the reason why they're not going to succeed and start a war is because they know, like I know, that their army is a fake army. Half of them people that voted for Donald Trump, which was half of America, are not even going to rise up and fight. The reason why is because one half of them voted for greed. I want y'all to think about that. I got people that I've interviewed on this show right now that I know personally that are wealthy people, and they're black, and I can tell they're Trump supporters. They didn't come out and say it, but when I said something about Trump to test the waters, one guy said to me, well, you know, it really don't matter to me because I'm going to make my money with Trump in office or not in office. And then another guy told me, well, man, now these black people now, well, man, he's actually good for the economy because, even though he's a bigot, money is flowing. Understand this, people. The money that was flowing in this country was a product of Obama, not Trump. Trump came in riding on the waves of Obama's economy. People need to get that understood. How politics and the government works, nothing happens overnight with the government. People denigrated Obama because the economy was moving too slow for them. It doesn't take 2 to 3 years for an economy to move. It takes sometimes 6 to 10 years. So when we had that financial crash during Obama's first term in office, he worked for almost 8 years, 2 terms, 8 years to fix the economy. By the time he got the economy moving, Donald Trump was in office. You got to get this understood, people. Don't let these right-wing media people tell you, or these greedy people tell you, that Donald Trump was the cause of a booming economy. That's a lie. All you got to do is look at the numbers. Stop going off of emotions and feelings. Start looking at the numbers. Pull up, get on your, everybody has a computer in your pocket. Everybody has a cell phone in your pocket, which is a mini computer. Google it. All you got to do is Google the statistics from Trump's economy and Obama's economy. And if you look at the statistics, it's going to tell you that Obama's economy on the last year of his a year in office, it's going to tell you that Obama's economy took off like a rocket. Donald Trump came in on that rocket. As soon as Barack Obama fired off that rocket, Donald Trump jumped on it. Y'all got to understand this. That man was never good for the economy. It just seemed like it. This goes back to what I was saying about how the Republicans know how to message the people. They've learned how to message the people because they had to learn over the decades of how to talk in code. I'm going to let that sink in your soul for a minute. Think about that. If you go from a society of white people calling blacks the N-word, and then all of a sudden you can't call black people the N-word anymore, they learn how to adapt. They learn how to speak in codes. They learn how to say stuff like you people instead of saying stuff like you N-words. They've learned how to adapt to move the crowd. MC, move the crowd. Like hip hop artists. They've learned how to message a package. They've learned how to rile up the bigotry in people without really seeming like they're bigots. This is something that the Democrats have not learned, which is why the Democrats keep losing. They have good ideals on how to run the country, but as soon as the Republicans start talking, they get all the people in America riled up like, man, I don't want that. The whole time when you get it, you want it. Like Obamacare. The Republicans packaged a message to the American people that Obamacare was socialism and bad. Obama put it out there anyway. Now, if you tell somebody that has Affordable Care Act, do you like the Affordable Care Act? They say yes. But if you tell somebody, do you like Obamacare? No, it's bad. But guess what? It's the same thing. You see, that lets you know that the Republicans have mastered the art of trickery. They mastered it. They've mastered it to the point where you got black people out here trying to convince other black people that Donald Trump somehow is good for you. They've mastered the message so well that you got Cubans down in Florida that voted for Donald Trump. He don't like you. But the Cubans suffered through Fidel Castro and Raul Castro, the Castro brothers. They suffered socialism down there in Cuba. So now when the Republicans come to them and say, you know you don't want that socialist, remember Cuba, they vote for the Republicans. The whole time, the Republicans are tricking them. They don't care nothing about you Cuban Americans at all. They don't care two flips about you. They mastered the message. And see, right now in America is the most dangerous time in America because the man lost anyway. He lost. Even in Georgia, which is why I put on my blue. I put on my blue shirt today, people. I dug in my closet, found my blue shirt. See, I'm a black and tan man. I like dark colors and natural colors. The reds and blues and colors like that I really don't wear too much. I wear black and tan or black and brown. Those are the colors that I like. But I had to pull out my blue shirt today in support of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And you know, the Republicans have learned to master the message. The Democrats need to get on their job. They need to get on their job. They need to get rid of all of these old people like Nancy Pelosi that don't know how to master the message. You see, AOC, she knows how to master the message. The squad, all of them female senators and congresswomen, they got hired. Yeah, they know how to master the message. They know how to talk straight up to the black people and the minorities and let you know that, hey, them people ain't right. Nancy Pelosi, she don't know how to master the message because even though she has goodwill in her heart, and I'm not saying that she doesn't, she is a good-willed white woman an older white woman who wants to help minorities and wants to help the people of this country, but at the same time, she's still trying to be nice to these people that hate us. Stop it. I'm trying to feed knowledge to you people. I'm trying to feed knowledge to you, let you know, man, that, you know, it's about to get deadly. These next 70 days that Donald Trump is in office, my prediction is he's going to try to crash this country and then dump it off on Joe Biden. Let me give you an example of what I mean. I'm sipping on Trump. Wild turkey honey. This is Trump drink. We'll piss him out later. But as I was saying, Nancy Pelosi doesn't know how to master the message. You see, when people say you're a socialist, you vote for socialism, I know how to tell them I know what socialism is. Obviously you don't. America already has socialism in it. They'll be like, what? What do you mean? Your grandmother that's on SSI, when you get hurt at work and you get disability, or if you're poor and you get food stamps, all of that's socialism. People don't understand how this country works. They just go off of keywords that their favorite TV program or their favorite news show pushes out there to them. Socialism is bad. Capitalism is good. Capitalism is a great thing. I have my own business right now. Capitalism is a great thing, but capitalism has to be put in check. And what puts capitalism in check is socialism. America is a mixture of capitalism and socialism. People need to get that understood. This country is not a straight capitalist country. And the reason why is because if you work for a company for 30 years and you get too old to work anymore and you retire, they give you a pension. That's socialism. A true capitalist country doesn't give you nothing. Capitalism is the art or the way of making money off of something you produce, you make, or you think into existence. That's capitalism. All the other stuff that comes around capitalism is socialism. Socialism is the art or the way of governing where you look out for the people. Okay? Let's get this understood. I'm finna school y'all today. I'm finna school you. Capitalism is when a wealthy man who owns a industrial workplace in a county, he hires damn near half the county that works in his factory. One of his sons rides around in his Ferrari too fast. He runs over a little black girl, kills her. The little black girl's father wants revenge. He wants the guys locked in jail. The sheriff deputy comes to him and says, "Man, look, we really can't do too much. You know, he runs that factory. His dad is the owner of the factory." And then other workers at the factory come to him and say, "Hey, man, he's offering you $20,000, man, to bury your daughter. He apologized. Why don't you just let it go?" Or what if he rapes, or one of his sons rapes your daughter? You see, capitalism is when these wealthy men, they used to call them robber barons, them and their kids will go out here in the communities like Donald Trump and Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump and all of the Trumps. They go out in the community, do anything to people and feel like they can get away with it. That's capitalism. Because they're wealthy and they create jobs. Socialism comes along and says, you know what? Since that guy killed that little girl driving down the street too fast, we're going to put up a sign that says speed limit 30 miles an hour, speed limit 20 miles an hour, speed limit in the school zone 15 miles an hour. That's socialism. You see, I'm trying to give you an example that everybody can relate to, whether you're white or black. Socialism keeps capitalism in check. Because without socialism, the capitalists of this country that runs all of the industries, them and their kids will step on you, squash you like a bug, because the money makes them hold power over anybody's lives in this country. Socialism comes along and says, hold up, we're going to put regulations on this stuff. You can't dump pollution from your factory in that lake behind your factory, because that lake behind your factory connects to the water tablet. The water tablet feeds the water to all of the people in the community. You're going to give people lead poisoning. So what the capitalist does, he says, you're a socialist. You're trying to stop me from making my money. It costs me too much to haul that waste off, but it's cheaper if I just dump it out there in the lake. You see, the Democrats don't know how to package the message. The Democrats don't know how to talk to the people on why they do certain things. The Republicans have mastered it. That's why they keep winning. Half of this country, if they really knew exactly what the program was that Democrats are talking about, they would never vote for Republicans again. I hope I put something on y'all people's minds out there. I'm going to end this show today on a high note, sipping on some Trump, wild turkey honey, and y'all have a blessed Sunday. I'm out.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.